Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Tariq Amin, lecturer, Department of English, Kohat University of Science and Technology, Kohat. Our today's topic is vocabulary and its types. This is 17th lecture of the course Communication Skills. The course code is ENG 134. Lecture outlines include vocabulary. First of all, we will discuss vocabulary, we will define it. After that, we will discuss different types of vocabulary. There are different types of vocabulary. We will discuss them. And then we will discuss aspects of knowing a word. And then at the end of the class, we will discuss importance of vocabulary. Now, vocabulary refers to all the words. It refers to all the words known and used by a person. It refers to all the words that are known to a particular person and that are used by a particular person. It refers to all the words that are known to him, or those words can be used by a particular person. And a person's vocabulary is the set of words within a language, within a particular language, that are familiar to that person. So it refers to all the words within a language that are familiar to a particular person. In short, we can say that vocabulary refers to all the words that you know and that could be used by you. Words are the starting point. Words are the starting point. Without words, no one can talk about people, places, things, and about actions, relations, or states. So words are the starting point. This is very much important point, that words are the starting point. Without words, you cannot talk about people. You can't talk about places. You can't talk about things. You can't talk about states, relations, and action. You need different words. You need a stock of words in order to talk about different people, about different places, things, relations, states, or actions. So words are very much important. Words are very much important. You should know some words. You should have a stock of words. Therefore, acquiring an extensive vocabulary is one of the largest challenges in learning a language. When you learn a language, this is one of the largest challenges, and the largest challenge is to acquire an extensive vocabulary. You need to acquire vocabulary, extensive vocabulary, if you want to learn a language. You cannot learn a language until and unless you know different words, until and unless you learn different words of that language. For example, if you want to learn Chinese language, first of all, you need to acquire some words. You need to acquire some vocabulary. You need to learn some Chinese words. You can't learn Chinese language until and unless you learn, first of all, you learn some Chinese words. So words are very much important in a language. Let's discuss some of the types of vocabulary. There are different types of vocabulary. We are going to discuss just a few types. The first one is reading vocabulary. What is reading vocabulary? It refers to all the words that a person can recognize when reading. When you read a text, for example, when we read a text, we recognize different words. So all the words are part of our vocabulary. So reading vocabulary is the vocabulary, or it refers to all the words a person can recognize when reading. So your reading vocabulary refers to all the words that you can recognize when you read a particular text. And if you can't recognize a particular word, it means that that word is not part of your vocabulary. The largest type of vocabulary. Reading vocabulary is the largest type of vocabulary because a reader tends to be exposed to more words by reading than by listening. We are exposed to more and more words when we read different texts, and as compared to listening, we are not exposed to large number of words when we listen to something. But when we read different texts, we get exposed to large number of words. Listening vocabulary is the second type of vocabulary. It is a person's listening vocabulary is all the words he or she can recognize when listening to speech. When you listen to a speech, we recognize different words. So all the words that we can recognize while listening to speech are part of our listening vocabulary. People may still understand words that were not exposed to before using cues such as tone, gesture, the topic of discussion, and the social context of the conversation. We had discussed this point that in guessing vocabulary of difficult words, that sometimes we guess the meaning of unfamiliar words with the help of different cues such example cues, synonym cues, antonym cues, tone, gestures, postures, gesture, topic of discussion, and the social context of conversation. We guess the meaning of unfamiliar word. A particular word may not be the part of our vocabulary. That we may not be able to know of a word. We may not be able to understand the word, but with the help of different cues such as tone, gesture, topic of discussion, and social context, we can guess the meaning of that word. And we can guess the meaning of that word. May understand the meaning of that word on the basis of different cues. Now we have speaking vocabulary as well. When we speak, we use different words. A person's speaking vocabulary is all the words he or she uses in speech. So all the words that you use in your speech are part of your speaking vocabulary. Speaking vocabulary refers to all the words that a particular person can use in his or her speech. It is likely to be a subset of listening vocabulary. It could be, yes, it could be a subset of listening vocabulary. Writing vocabulary. A person's writing vocabulary is all the words he or she can employ in writing. So all the words that you can apply in your writing when you write something, or all the words that you can use in your writing when you write something, when you write a paragraph or two or three or an essay about something. So all the words that you can apply in your writing are part of your writing vocabulary. So a person's writing vocabulary is all the word he or she can employ in writing. Words are used in various forms of writing, from formal essays to Twitter feeds. Yes, sometimes we write formal essays, sometimes we tweet, sometimes we send different messages to our friends, sometimes we chat with our friends on WhatsApp, Messenger, etc. And sometimes we write academic documents, sometimes we read formal essays, formal applications. So all the words that you can apply in your formal essays, that you can apply in your formal application, you apply in your academic text, academic writing, and all the words that you can use in your text messages, your conversation, and your chats, all the words are part of your writing vocabulary. It is not that the word that you can apply in chatting are not part of your writing vocabulary. It is not the case. All the words that you can at least apply in your writing, are part of your writing vocabulary. Many written words do not commonly appear in speech. Sometimes, yes, there are many words that we imply in speech, but we don't use them in. We don't use them when we write something. There are many words that we use when we speak orally with a particular person, but we don't write those words in our writing. Writers generally use a limited set of words when communicated through written channel. We had discussed two channels. The first one was oral channel and the second one was written channel. Written channel is more formal than oral channel, and written channel has got formal words, and it has got limited set of words. I've discussed the same point in the previous point, that there are lots of words that we use in our speaking. that we use in our speech, but we don't use those words in our writing. We don't use them in our writing. Written channel has got limited set of words. All the words that we use in our speech are not used in our writing. Passive vocabulary. Let's discuss it. What is passive vocabulary? It includes words that we know but do not use in our speaking and writing. There are different words that we know but we don't use them in our speaking, and we don't use them in our writing as well. Such words that we don't know but we know but do not use in our speaking and writing are part of our passive vocabulary. Active vocabulary. Active vocabulary is the opposite of passive vocabulary. For example, let's discuss it. It includes words that we know and frequently use them in our speaking and in writing, and that we use them in speaking, and it is not right but it is writing. It is writing. So all the words that we know and frequently use in our speaking and writing are part of our active vocabulary. There are some aspects of knowing a word. When you say that I know a word, you mean you know its form. Now what is form? When you say that I know the form of a word, you mean that I know its spelling. For example, when you say that I know the word boy, I know the word boy. When you say that I know this word, it means that you know its form. You know its form. For example, its form means its spelling. You know its spelling. Its spelling is B-O-Y. You should know the spelling of this word. When you say that I know the word, so you should know the form of the word. When you say that I know the form of the word, it means that you know its spelling, and its spelling is B-O-Y. And you know its pronunciation. When you say that I know this word, you should know its pronunciation as well. For example, its pronunciation is Y, Y, Y. You should know its spelling and you should know its pronunciation. This is the first aspect of knowing a word. You should know its form, you should know its spelling, and you should know its pronunciation. The second important aspect is grammar. When you say that I know a word, it means that you know its grammar as well. What do we mean by grammar of word? We mean that you know the structure of the word. For example, what is the structure of B-O-Y, Y, and you know its use in different sentences. When you say that I know the grammar of word, it means that you know how to use a particular word in different sentences, or where a particular word can be used in a sentence. Can it be used as the subject of a verb? Can it be used as the object of a verb? Or can it be used as verb in a sentence, or preposition in a sentence, or as a conjunction in a sentence, etc. So when you say that I know the grammar of word, it means you know where it could be used in sentence, or you know its different uses in sentence, because there are some words which cannot be used in each and every position. For example, nouns cannot be used in place of prepositions. Most of the time they can't be used. So words perform different functions in different sentences. You should know the function or the uses of different words in different sentences. When you know a word, you should know its form and you should know its grammar. Grammar means you should know the structure of the word, you should know its use in sentences, and you should know its collocations as well. Grammar means you should know its collocations. We will discuss the point in the next slide. Collocation refers to all the words that can be used with a word. So you should know what sort of words can be used with a word within a sentence, and you should know the meaning of word as well. The third aspect is collocation. Now, what is collocation? Collocation refers to words or types of words that occur with a word. You should know what words or types of words occur with a word. And now, what words or what does collocation mean? There are some words that can't be used with each and every word. All words have got some collocations. There are some words that are frequently used with one another. For example, pretty girl, pretty meaning. Meaning denotations. You should know the denotation of word. Denotation means you should know the dictionary meaning of a word, and connotations mean you should know the connotation. As the connotations are the extra meaning that we attach with denotate with words. And appropriateness, appropriateness or appropriacy or appropriateness means that where a word could be used appropriately. And meaning appropriateness has got many meanings over here. Okay, meaning relations, antonyms and synonyms. You should know the antonyms of word and you should know the synonyms of words of a particular word as well. So in sum, when you say that I know a word, it has got different aspects. Knowing a word means that you know its form. When you say that I know its form, you mean that you know its spelling and you know its pronunciation. And knowing a word also means that you know its grammar. You know where to use the word. You know where the word, you know its use in different sentences. You know the structure of the word. And knowing a word also means knowing the collocation of word. You should know what words or what type of word most of the time occur with a word. And you should know the meaning of a word as well when you say that I know a word. Knowing a word also means knowing the meaning of that word. By meaning we means you should know the denotative meanings of that word, connotative meanings of that word, appropriateness of that word, and the different meaning relations. Meaning relations mean antonyms and synonyms. You should know the antonyms of a particular word and you should know the synonym of a particular word when you say that I know this word. These were the different aspects of knowing a word. Now let's discuss importance of vocabulary. I touched this point at the very beginning of the class that words are very much important. You can't talk about anything until unless you know some words. Vocabulary is of much importance than grammar. Yes, vocabulary is more important than grammar because we can convey our ideas with the help of our vocabulary, with the help of our words. But if we don't have words, we can't convey our ideas with grammar because sentence can't be made without words. It is the key to communicate successfully with other people. If you want to communicate successfully with other people, you should have some stock of words. Words are the currency of communication. We can't communicate if we don't have the currency. We can't communicate with people if we don't have words. So words are the currency of communication. A robust vocabulary improves all areas of communication: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. If you have extensive vocabulary, it improves all areas of communication. There are different language skills that are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Or we can say that these are different areas of communication. Listening is one of the area of communication. Speaking is another area of communication. Reading and writing are the other areas of communication. So if you have an extensive vocabulary, it improves all the areas of communication. It improves all the language skills. It can improve your listening. It can improve your speaking, reading, and writing. Strong relationship between vocabulary and reading comprehension. If you have vocabulary, extensive vocabulary, you can comprehend a text. And if you don't have vocabulary, you won't be able to comprehend a text. Vocabulary is very much important for reading comprehension. For example, you are reading a text of just one paragraph and there are many words, there are lots of words, there are lots of difficult words that are unknown to you, that are not familiar to you. If you don't know the words, how can you guess the meaning of those words, or how can you comprehend the text, or how can you comprehend the paragraph? So vocabulary is very much important for reading comprehension, and it is also very much important for listening. If you don't know the word that a particular person is speaking or that a particular person is using, if you don't know the meaning of those words and the words are not familiar to you, you won't be able to get the ideas of the person that is speaking to you. And it also improves our speaking as well. We discussed in the previous point that it improves our listening. I discussed it improves. How does it improve our speaking? For example, if you want to communicate your ideas, you want to exchange your ideas with other person, you can't exchange your ideas if you don't have extensive vocabulary, you don't have words. You can exchange your ideas, you can talk with other people, and you can explain your points to other people, your audience, if you have a good stock of words, you have extensive vocabulary. If you have extensive vocabulary, it means that you can communicate everything with other people. That is why we say that it improves our speaking as well. Same is the case with reading. When you read a text, if you don't know words, how can you comprehend the text? How can you understand the text? If you have good stock of vocabulary, you have extensive vocabulary, you would be able to know the meaning of different words, and on the basis of meaning of different words, you would be able to comprehend the text. And the last point is, how does it improve our writing? It is same like speaking. For example, you want to communicate your ideas with other people through written channel. You want to write something. If you don't have words, you don't have extensive vocabulary, how can you communicate your ideas? How can you write your ideas? So words are very much important for listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Once you develop your vocabulary, you develop your extensive vocabulary, it would help you in listening, it would help you in speaking, reading, and writing. It would improve all areas of communication. It would improve all your language skills. First of all, as language learners, as English language learners, we need to improve our vocabulary. We need to build our vocabulary. We need to enhance our vocabulary. Once we enhance our vocabulary, we develop and improve our vocabulary, all language skills and all areas of communication would be improved with the help of vocabulary. Yes, we discussed this point, that there is strong relationship between vocabulary and reading comprehension. We discussed it. And vocabulary knowledge is linked to overall academic success. For we students, vocabulary is very much important, and it is linked to academic success. Expanding a person's knowledge of words provides unlimited access to new information. Very much important point, that you can have access to new information, unlimited new information if you have words. For example, you are listening to some person who is exchanging very much important information. You can get his important ideas, his important point, if you have words, if you know words that a particular person is using. And you can increase your knowledge, you can add new information to your already existing knowledge if you have some words, you have good stock of vocabulary. If you are reading something, you can get ideas or new information from the text if you have good stock of vocabulary. Vocabulary is very much important. These are references. These are different references. Thank you for listening to the video. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you very much.